Hey folks, welcome back to Let's Play Onechanbara. I'm your host TPC Gamer, and today's episode is being delivered through the medium of PowerPoint. Oh, of course not. But there is a bit of a talky thing at the beginning of this stage that kinda explains what's going on in the game, so you guys get to see that. You also get to see Himiko. Kinda. I mean, I bet she looks real threatening when she's not hidden by a text box, you know? Though I suppose it is one way to build suspense about the identity of your final boss. Show them, but not quite. Although it's no Dio, I mean, that's for sure. And I can kind of see why. I mean, they wouldn't want to render and animate a character just to not show them. You know, this is a budget title. We gotta stretch that cash as far as it can go. Although it's kind of interesting, to me at least, to see where the money has gone in this game. Like, the things they thought we did and didn't need to see, and how we needed to see it, you know? This conversation is also interesting, when I'm not talking over it. In brief, this is a SWOT analysis meeting, which stands for Strengths, Weaknesses, Opportunities, and Threats. And they decided that their threats are Aya and Saki, which... that's a pretty decent one to go for, I think. And they're hoping to move Saki over to Opportunities and then Strengths. And then, if that fails, just kill her and eat her heart. That's a good way of dealing with your problems. Oh man, I know that voice! That's Yuki Hishijima! She was in those other D3 games I played. I forget who she voiced, though. Okay, we're back. So before we begin the level, this is Saki's cheerleader outfit. You unlock the parts of this by completing achievements, and, you know, it's one of my favourite costumes in the whole game. Compare it to... whatever this is! I mean, this is standard army issue, right? Like, Metal Gear Online wasn't lying. Also, I have to show you this. Way! Anna's entire upper body has jiggle physics. It's not just her breasts. Like, how does that even happen? Page 1, line 1 of the GDD says, make the breasts wobble, and they got it wrong. It happens with a couple of her other outfits as well. And it pretty much only happens to Anna, which makes me think that it's related to her bust size. Because if you look at the rest of the cast, Aya and Saki are about average for their age, given that Aya's 21 and Saki is totally 18! Officer! But Anna has big breasts, and that's what causes the weird, gelatinous polygon system to freak out. And I'm sat here, I'm thinking I should probably pick a new topic because this one is getting really weird. So yeah, this is one of my favourite outfits for Saki, and, well, for any character in the ensemble, and I'm not entirely sure why. Because, like, we don't really have cheerleaders in England. We don't celebrate anything. It's quite improper and rude. We tackle everything with morose sarcasm. Good example of that, I was with some friends recently, and I used the phrase, well, this is fun. Try saying that like you're actually enjoying yourself. Right? You can't. You absolutely can't. But I can see why people go for cheerleaders, though. Okay. That's how you do it. Deal with it, monster dog. But yeah, cheerleaders. There's this one point when I'm in America and I go to school with my host. Obviously, I can't go to class with her because they kinda noticed the guy with a fruity accent hanging out in the back. So I wandered about the campus, just seeing what was there and finding out what's up. Turns out, I ended up on a field watching cheerleading practice. Or the cheerleading tryouts. Or something with short skirts and pom-poms. And even though I didn't go to the school, I still came away from it super hyped and ready to go beat up the other guys. I know that Lollipop Chainsaw does a very similar thing. And I'm going to expedite this by equipping the Rampage Bracelet just now. But yeah, if you get a decent kill streak in Lollipop Chainsaw, then you get this little cheer team pop up to tell you how amazing you are, and it's a good way of getting hyped. And yet, I still prefer this game to that. I wonder what's up with that. Oh, hang on a second. Yes! That is one of my absolute favorite melee attacks in the game. It doesn't make any sense if you look at it, because she goes forward after kicking herself backwards, but that's one of my favorites, and it is only helped by the fact that that guy is basically Zombie Andre the Giant. It also helps because he's a really big, tough, and strong enemy, and grappling like that is a good way of knocking his health right down, or just straight up killing him on the easier difficulties. Kinda makes you wonder why I didn't pick the easier difficulties, just given how much I'm hyping them up. Oh yeah. Don't clean the blade, get stuck in the enemies. Now I remember. I am good at remembering core game mechanics that I demonstrated 2 levels ago or whatever. And I've just noticed this. I really like it. If you kill an enemy while you're berserk, they don't drop to the floor, they just explode and vanish where they stand like Fist of the North Star. I can go for that. Oh, no you don't. Right, I'm going to unequip you. I'm going to give you the Splat Control Bracelet again, because why not? And I'm going to heal you. Just make sure I don't go berserk. Unless I want to. Hey, guess what, you guys? Loading screens! Hey, guess what, you guys? Loading screens! Hey, guess what, you guys? Loading screens! So, okay, I'm cutting out loading screens in this playthrough, largely because of sections like that. Each of those loading screens was about 45 seconds long, even though the only thing it reasonably loaded was more loading screens. It's like I'm back on the CPC again. Hey, guess what, you guys? Loading screen! At the very least, they do give you something to do. Like, that zombie horde mode is pretty fun in isolation, or even as a prelude to the main event, but playing it 4 times in the space of as many minutes, it loses some of its appeal, you know? And I like the bluster, is the word they picked for the B rank, because I mean, if you know English, that's probably not the word you would pick. Bluster is like, you talk a big game, but you've actually got nothing. Game? Oh, there we go. I was gonna say, there's a second round of monsters on hard and above, so the game would give me a little respite or something. This round has a lot more bird enemies in it, and I think that's one reason I brought out Anna. Her guns ignore the Y-axis. Holy crap, did you just see that? I just cut like 12 bullets out of the air, that was awesome! I think that's one of the marks of a good game, I feel. If you can feel legitimately cool for doing something, even if it's accidental, then it's a good game and you've done well. I mean, hell, it's even cooler if you do something organically, because then you are doing it, rather than the character, if that makes sense. I think it's kind of hard to explain because a lot of games don't make the distinction, and I think that's a shame. I mean, God of War is a nightmare for this kind of thing. Push button, receive beat down, sit back, imagine how much cooler it would be if you had been in any way responsible for that outcome. Also, this is why I tend to keep Anna with me. Good to pick up on some of the CXP. See you in a bit. So we're back in the tunnels again, and I'm starting to wonder how easy it's going to be to edit this video and audio so I don't desync my audio, given how much I'm expecting to cut out. I'm expecting to cut fully 10 minutes out of this recording at this point. Now, if it were up to me, I would have made this area a straight-up arena, and made it so the player didn't need to go through at least 2 loading screens to get the key. But they do make that an arena in a couple of levels, so to their credit, they are at least trying to keep the game fresh and avoid it turning stale. And you guys are not worth my time, so let's push on to the platform and end the level. Does rolling help? Rolling helps! Yeah, we've seen all this before. Oh, but you have points. I'll give you some of that. There you go. Nice even spread. Oh man, it's Reiko. Who knew? Aside from everybody, because she's in the manual. Shut up. She does look a little different, I have to say. And I'm not overly keen on this design. I like the leather catsuit from the last game. Though to be fair, in the Wii version of this game, she gets a few new outfits, and they look really good. But for now, we're stuck with this weird cutout thing. Like, I think it's meant to try and invoke thoughts of bondage or something, but I don't know. That could be me reading into things. Okay, so here, Reiko talks about the last game, how she took baneful blood from the final boss, but Aya killed Reiko immediately afterwards. There is no way she could have the blood. Of course, now Aya's saying she didn't kill Reiko last time, she just attacked her and assumed she'd die from the wounds? I don't know. I know I made a joke in the last video about how I found one and only one plot hole in this game, but it actually looks like there are a couple. I just haven't been paying too much attention until I've come to sit to record it for you. Kinda like right now, in fact. Although, to be fair, me talking over it and not paying attention, not really ruining anything else. The big reveal is that Reiko is here! Surprise! Also, Aya's going to be taking charge, because she's the main character, so she gets to stand front and center and do all of that cool stuff. Oh! Saw that, Aya. Your rigging's showing. A pity, really, because this game's usually really good for not doing that during these paper doll cutscenes. Okay, before we get properly started, I'm going to equip my power bracelet. I love it, it's so bad, etc. I want to comment on something. I like that they reused Reiko's boss theme from the previous game, but if you listen carefully, you can hear rushing water beneath it. I mean, even though we're in a subway tunnel, it's like they... Yeah! Look at that damage! And I killed all the fodder as well. Double trouble. But no, you can hear rushing water because they just took the audio stream straight off the previous game's disc, rather than reusing the original file. It's poor optimization like that that kind of explains why they thought so many loading screens were a good idea. I'm gonna kill you guys for good measure as well. On the one hand, I like that they subtitled people gasping and all the other incidental noises. On the other, it is really creepy. Like, it has this off-kilter and sinister edge that I'm not entirely sure how to deal with. Oh yeah! We're forgetting the secret of Reiko's body. And that is that she is constructed entirely out of well-trained spiders. And that's why you can never get a proper hit in edgeways. Or... you know, she's a vat-grown soldier and part of an army of Reikos. Now, D3 have actually gone into a lot of detail about this. There is an army of Reiko clones, controlled by 9 more clones of Reiko, and they're the sort of the powerful 9. And these 9 clones are, in turn, controlled by Reiko Mizusaki herself. Reiko hears and sees everything that her army does. So, basically she's the Borg Queen, but not called that because then we get sued. Now, didn't we just see that intro animation? Oh damn, it's like a million Reikos! Someone's been reading my fan fiction. Anyway, there actually is an infinite number of goons here, and this fight can be really tricky if you don't play it properly. You can kill off every one of these Reikos, but if you do that, then some more will show up. There's an otherwise unused animation of 5 or 6 clones piling out the subway train. Don't know which of these I'm meant to be targeting anymore. But it's... Is it any of you? No, it isn't! Way to waste my swallow dance. But yeah, you have to take down the commander, and if you do that, then all the clones die as one. Oh yeah, also the commander can go berserk, which is a really nice way of highlighting specifically which one of the models you're meant to be attacking. Oh damn! I never meant to do that, but I always feel good when I do. Like I was saying just now about cutting bullets out of the air. I'm gonna get that EXP. Don't know why. I just don't want it to go to waste, you know? Oh yeah! The fact that I also set my wallpaper to Reiko is probably a giveaway that she shows up in this game at some point. Spoilers for 4 videos ago, I guess. I'm gonna show off you. This is Saki's classic outfit. It's what she wore in the last game. Nothing too special. Anna and her ludicrous boobs. Get this! This is her special outfit, and it's up there as one of my favourite outfits in the game. Like, there is just something about evening dress commando that's just friggin' badass, you know? Although, for some reason, if you look at it, I think even her ass gets jiggle physics in this mode. And I feel like I'm in that bizarre area where I shouldn't really enjoy what's going on here, you know? It is an unfortunate thing, though, because, like, yes, girls are pretty to look at, but maybe let's not make that one of our unique selling points, you know? And I've kind of given this a lot of thought, and I had considered doing a video on it at one point, but I don't think it'd be relevant anymore. Basically, is it entirely bad that Aya, for example, runs around in her lingerie? Because if you look at it, Aya is, objectively speaking, a strong female character. And enjoy that, because I can never do a proper kill with that cleave move, just like in the last game. Anyway, Aya isn't fighting for attention or validation. She isn't fighting alongside somebody who gives her strength. She doesn't need help. And there's pretty much no point where she isn't in complete control of the situation. And that sounds pretty cool, because if you ignore other M, and all of you should, then Aya's on par with Samus-Aran, whose character sheet reads, in its entirety, strong female character. On the other hand, I don't want to comment necessarily because I'm a guy, and I don't really think I'm allowed to comment on what is and isn't appropriate and sexist in this context. My point is, I love this game, I like the combat and techniques and all, not so keen on the whole look at the boobs angle they've got going on. And you get out of my face. I'm trying to shoot me while I'm doing my commentary. Okay, I think Anna can finish whatever's left. Mainly because there's some fodder and also birds. She's also level 70-something, so she needs the EXP. Although, with that said, Saki can finish off the giant guy. I totally didn't see that guy. There we go. Or not. So, while I'm here, the achievements in this game, they're really difficult to get, because they're kinda two-tier. Because this game has its own in-house system of challenges. Like, there's a cool combo challenge, where you have to complete a stage with a high percentage of cool combo attacks. If you complete challenge level 1, you can do challenge level 2, and then level 3. And only once you do level 3 do you get the achievement. Now you also unlock customization parts for the dress-up mode by completing the challenges, so it's not just a case of hard to get gamer score, The survival one is one of the worst ones to get, because you have to get 1/3, 2/3, and then all the way through the survival mode to complete it. But you have to do it in 3 separate runs, so you can't just play it once to get all 3. And if you blaze through survival mode with high-powered characters, like I did, it takes about 3.5 hours, so you can see how that would take up a lot of your time. It's really good for power leveling though, so that's why I've stuck with it, and that's why Anna, my least favourite character, is still pretty impressive. Also, did you see that spinning arm? I love when the game does that. I don't know why it does that. I just love that it does. You can also bounce weapons on their edges as well. No idea what I dodged, but I'm not going to complain. I think you often see the body parts spinning because it's like a bug in the game's physics. Like maybe it's meant to fall down so it rests on its widest point, but it lands so that there is no widest point. I don't know, I've never programmed a game in 3D, so I'm just guessing. I do like to think though that they found it in QA testing, and they decided to keep it in because it's kinda hilarious. Alright, just mop up this EXP, and apparently there is a third wave. If I had been smart, I probably would have realized that. If I'd been smart, I would have tried to make that into a third strike joke, but apparently I was not on the ball. I dropped the ball, and now that's the best joke that I can pull out of my hat. And see, this is the thing with Anna. She can unleash a wave of pain that will stop enemies where they stand. But when it comes to the giant enemies, or the regenerators that we'll fight later, she's not great. And to that end, I have to wonder why they would even include her here. Because if they gave her a few tweaks, they could have made her a pretty decent addition to the team. Probably the best character. But as it stands, she's just kinda drab. Although I suppose it makes sense, because Anna doesn't have the baneful blood, so she's basically a human. That's fine. I didn't want to do the cool flip kick thing anyway, whatever. Kill you like this. But no, Anna feels like a human fighting alongside Superman, And you can never measure up to that kind of thing. Anyway, most of the zombies are dealt with. Though, looking at the arenas, I feel they were extremely unnecessary. I don't know, maybe this is just crowd control or something. Your old man talking! Probably for the best, because hearing Saki gasp as she runs around, I feel incredibly bad. Like, it's things like that that made me ashamed to buy this game, even if it was over eBay. Recycled enemies in this game? Come on now, that's crazy talk. By the way, I'm gonna re-equip the power bracelet. You don't really need splat control in this fight, just pure power. So, as you can see, it's pretty much the same fight against the previous fights against the guys in suits. Primarily because this guy is Yang. He's the twin brother of the guy we fought in the first video. The other guy has a couple of extra attacks. They have a lot of range on them, but the plan of attack is basically the same. Attack, dodge, repeat, win. Skip over stat distribution, make inane commentary, silently long for the sweet embrace of death. You know how it goes. And you know something? I can't tell you the difference between power and gun on Anna's screen. You'd think I would after so long, but I've no idea. Anyway, I'm done now, so join us next time for some more of this, and until next time, goodbye!